Hey folks, Dr. Rob Jones here, heydrrob.com. So in my backbreakers or mistake of the week series, this is actually going to be a morning routine series, okay? I've had two patients in their mid-30s just in the last 2 days that both were doing the same program, and it was called T something, T25 or something like that. Never heard of it. Okay, it must be some online thing, I don't know, but let me tell you, it was a morning stretch routine that was 25 minutes, some good stuff, but also full of backbreakers, okay? We know that backbreakers, they flex the spine, they take it through a range of motion and they move it. And let me tell you why specifically in the morning, and of course all the other times you don't want to move the spine, okay? What you don't want to do in the morning is create any load on the disc. Even healthy discs attract water while we sleep, okay? So as you're walking around throughout the day, your discs actually are getting axially loaded by your compressive forces of your body and then the ground reaction forces underneath you. So you're taller actually in the morning than you are in the evening by about a 1/4 inch, because as the day goes on, your discs compress, they lose water. Well, you sleep, okay? Discs are hydrophilic. They actually attract water. So they plump back up to the tune of about 20%. So if you have a disc bulge, or if you just have a healthy back with no disc bulges, but specifically if you have a disc bulge, you do not want to do spinal movement in the morning, okay? Because those discs are plumper and bigger, and it's just going to make that disc angrier. Okay, so both of these guys were doing a lot of these backbreaker movements that, again, are laid out in my book. Laying on their back, pulling their knees to their chest, twisting this way, trying to loosen their backs up. Well, let me tell you something. Your backs are tight in the morning, not because the muscles are tight. Your backs are tight in the morning because your discs are bulging more because of that hydraulic pressure we just talked about, okay, and the hydrophilic nature of the disc. And so that's why you feel stiffness. That's why a lot of my disc pain patients complain of having a hard time bending over to put their socks on. So if you look at previous videos, you know, we've talked about making sure your spine is in a good position when you put your socks on. Your spine is in a good position while you put your pants and underwear on, okay? You can go back and look at those videos if you want to. This video is basically just going to be a morning routine that I want you to do that I think is the best morning routine because it's simple, okay? It's going to take you 5 minutes, a little more, a little less, depending on how long you hold your stretches, and it's not going to move the spine. We're going to have to be flexible through the quads, hip flexors, hamstrings, and glutes, okay? So we can move well throughout the day while the spine stays in a neutral position. You've heard me talk about we need to make sure we have intra-abdominal pressure. So to let your brain know that your spine is safe during these stretches, I want you to keep your intra-abdominal pressure, okay? So we're not going to move the spine, but we're going to move through the hips and the things that attach to the hips. So let's go ahead and start. Super simple. Little intra-abdominal pressure. We're going to keep the back in a nice neutral position. We're going to do a figure 4 stretch, okay? Cross the leg here. Do not push down here because you're going to pop the hip up. It's not good for it. Chest up. Don't collapse down. Raise your bottom heel. Okay, right there. That's the only stretch you need to do, or the only movement you need to do for this stretch. Gonna hold it for 20 or 30 seconds. You're gonna get a nice piriformis and deep hip rotator stretch. Okay, those get tight, you're gonna have a hard time moving. Then what we're gonna do, lock our fingers, pull this knee to the opposite shoulder, turn away just slightly. You're only turning through the hip, not the back. Again, 20 to 30 seconds right here. Okay? Now we're getting a nice glute medius, glute maximus stretch, a little bit of piriformis, again, so we can have good hip mobility. We'll switch it over to the other side, okay? Do the same thing, 20 or 30 seconds, 20 or 30 seconds, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and stand up. Now, let's get into the hamstring, because again, flexibility here is gonna give you ability to hip hinge and bend so you don't put pressure on your lower back, okay? So simple hamstring stretch. We were all indoctrinated that we had to bend over to touch our toes. It is not a measure of fitness, okay? Just because you can touch your toes and flex your spine doesn't mean that's good for you, okay? We don't want movement here, we want lordosis. Let's get here, push the knee back, squeeze the quad, reciprocal inhibition. We'll shut this off. 20 to 30 seconds. And then we switch to the other side. Push the hips back, knees straight, Flex the quad, reciprocal inhibition will shut off the hamstring. You get a nice stretch. You'll stretch your sciatic nerves. Okay, you can even pump your ankle like this a little bit to get a little bit of sciatic flossing. Okay, 20 to 30 seconds, there you go. Next move, hold on to something stable. Grab your ankle, knee close to your other knee. Chest is gonna come up, but you're not gonna hyperextend. Intra-abdominal pressure, and then just pull your hips straight back, just like this, okay? We don't wanna get here, and we don't wanna hyperextend. There should be no back movement. Your back should be nice and silent. Knee close, pull your hip back, squeeze your butt, tighten your core, nice quad stretch all the way through your hip flexor. Okay, 20 to 30 seconds. Now, let's take a knee, let's do our hip flexor. From here, again, we want to be careful we don't hyperextend the spine here. So all we're going to do is going to rock forward a little bit, squeezing the glute really hard, and you're going to feel a nice stretch through your hip flexor here. You can put your hand on top of your head or reach towards the ceiling. Don't move your spine, and you'll feel what appears to be like your abdominals, but it's actually your upper fibers of your psoas all the way up to L1, which is here, getting a nice stretch. Keep your glutes squeezed so you don't hyperextend your spine. Again, 20 to 30 seconds. Switch to the other side. Get in through here, up to here. And again, if you get a little pain in your back here, it's because you're hyperextending. Come back a little bit, squeeze your butt really hard and push. Hip forward, this way you get a nice stretch through here, okay? So there you go. You've loosened up that whole hip girdle, so now you can move nice and clean, okay? Well, let's go up to some muscles that actually attach in the back. Let's get our lats and our QL muscles here, okay? Again, we don't want to move the spine much, so I'm going to grab this Olympic bar here. But what you can do is reach around on a piece of furniture or use your door frame of your door. You're going to grab here. Your thumb is going to be up like this. We don't want to be here because it can irritate the shoulder. Thumb up here. Step back on the same side that you're stretching. Now I'm going to pull my hip in this direction. Heel is going to come towards the ground. It doesn't have to go down. Now I'm feeling a stretch from the back of my rotator cuff through my lats, in through my lumbar paraspinals, and in through my QLs here. I'm not twisting my spine, it's just a straight traction, straight back. Take some deep breaths because your ribs attach to that area. 20 to 30 seconds, switch sides, and then basically heel back. And again, pull your hips straight back, don't twist your spine. I keep my hand here for support. And then once you feel like you've got a good stretch back your shoulder, through your lats, through your QL muscle and your paraspinals, take some deep breaths, 20 or 30 seconds. There's your stretch component. Now, if you do want to traction the spine a little bit, to maybe give it some space, you can do that, but we don't need to do any major movement. A simple overhead just like this, and as I reach towards the ceiling, my spine will open up just a little bit. So we're gonna come straight up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive my heels into the ground and I'm gonna squeeze my butt so my spine stays neutral. I'm just gonna reach up towards the ceiling. Some nice deep breaths, keeping my intra-abdominal pressure, keeping my glutes squeezed, and I'm getting a nice traction on my lumbar spine, and there's zero strain there, okay? Now that's the stretching component. We're gonna do one last thing. We want the hip girdle to be nice and mobile again so we can move through, but we also need the glutes activated for the day, okay? Glutes activated meaning your muscles are in tune with your brain through here so you can move, okay? As I'm doing this and I'm bending to bend over to pick something up or pick up a child or bend over to pick up that sock on the floor, you have to use your glutes to spare your spine. So let's do a simple bridge, okay? So let's get down onto our backs, okay? Again, we are not pulling knees to chest or anything crazy like that. What I want you to think about here is my ribs right through here. You can see when I lie back, they flare up a little bit. I want you to push your ribs right here towards the ground, but don't flatten your spine. You always want lordosis in your spine. Now, create your intra-abdominal pressure, okay? Push your knees to the side, push your hips towards the ceiling until you feel your glutes. Now, if your hamstrings are cramping, it's because your glutes aren't firing. Go back to the ground, intra-abdominal pressure, ribs down, drive your knees this way, and if you still can't get your glutes to contract, and you're getting a hamstring contraction or a cramp, you need to put some bands around your knees, okay? So come up. Once we're here, I can feel my glutes activated right away. I keep my intra-abdominal pressure. I'm gonna push this foot into the ground. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna push this foot into the ground. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. Brace, ribs down, keeping lordosis. Pushing this foot into the ground activates my right glute. 2, 3. Now my left glute. 1, 2, 3. And again, let's just do about 3 per side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, we're not trying to train the glutes here. We're just trying to tell the brain, hey, wake it up, buddy. We got to use them. Okay. So now we're going to go to the side. If you want to be done there, you can be done there. If you want to do a half side bridge, you can do a half side bridge. Come up like this. This is a little bit more advanced. This will get a little bit more glute medius because we're having to come down here. Again, just hold this position. If you pick this leg up a little bit, that downside will activate more. Again, just a couple of reps per side just to tell your brain, time to turn the glutes on, time to start the day. 3 reps per side is all we need. We're gonna get up. We're not gonna do any spine work, and I promise you, your spine is gonna feel better because it's been stabilized. Your brain has now been cued to keep everything stable, but it's also been cued to keep everything mobile through here and strong through here, so you're ready to go about your day. So I hope you like that. If you do, don't forget to subscribe, follow me on the socials, and as always, watch for these backbreakers, watch for the substitutes for the backbreakers, and as always, don't forget to protect your back.